a lot of what both of you shared kind of merges with what I have to talk today in the evening here. I'm going to talk about innovation as a process, not as like an end goal, because in the process is a manner in which it opens up for all of us. So I'm not going to talk about a finished product, I'm going to talk about the process, pretty much like what I shared here. Right, so I'm here talking about two different organizations, one called Cloud Beauty, one called Neural Hinge. Please feel free to visit us at 8:31. Cloud Beauty brings in the ability to source materials, manufacturing processes from across the world, not limited by geographical boundaries. Whereas Neural Hinge, we are an innovation lab. We work as innovation service providers with suppliers and brands alike. What cloud brings in the ability to go local, local, global, whatever you choose to call it. It has a fantastic network that allows you access to new emerging raw materials, sustainable new finishes, new processes. Neural Hinge brings in the ability to innovate packaging that brings in measurable benefits for the end consumer, whether it's applicators, dispensing system, talking about eyedroppers, and I'll explain to you how ergonomics is a critical factor that Bryce just brought in. Here gives you the methodology of what Cloud Beauty does, ability to look at simplification, regulation, getting in synergies from across industries, working from raw material up to sustainability in both in material and in production, understanding production, reducing carbon footprint, all the way down to the branding and the brand look, etc. A few examples of what Cloud Beauty brings in is a new technology of surface decoration, which replaces the ability to emboss glass in the mold. Rather than that, to enable short quantity, short volumes, is a 3D printing technique that looks like embossing. You can apply it on glass, you can apply it on plastic. You can do quick turnarounds, you can do seasonal launches, the ability to be flexible, to be fast, and to be customizable at a drop of a hat. The second amazing material, I hate the name, but I love it because it's also ugly in the sense, but it brings in real value. It's called sludge. So it actually uses reservoir mud, sourced sustainably, mixed with a certain quantity of polymer. So it reduces plastics in components by up to 70%. At the same time, unlike other materials which are sustainable, it is not light. It's got heft, it's got weight, it's got an ability to feel luxurious, it's got an ability to lend itself to post-manufacturing processes. If one wants metallizing, if one does not want, one can go with it as the natural end result. So this is one of the emerging materials that we are looking at building on, whether in terms of cap closures or as new applicator surfaces. It's got a very nice feel, like almost like a ceramic. I encourage you to go take a look at it. Now talking about what Neural Hinge does is that we have a methodology to work with speed. We can bring in ideas from across industries because in addition to beauty skincare, we work with medical technology, we work in research, we work with premium spirits, bringing in processes and materials and knowledge from those industries enables us to move with speed and come up with solutions which change the game. We understand that applicators is a significant area of improvement for brands and to differentiate themselves. A few examples that I present here, I will explain to you how the methodology helps us create this. This particular pack is an applicator that mimics the fingertip, so it goes by the makeup artist's gestures of tapping the product on the eye, whereas the same applicator does it in the same manner. Ability to mix flocking and metal together to give a sense of cold, calm, and make sure that the active ingredients go down into the skin. This is kind of enabled by an in-house developed AI agent. It works as a co-inventor alongside us. How it works is the ideas that we brainstorm, we put those ideas into the agent. The agent has access to the USPTO patent database, the European patent database, the Chinese patent database. It trolls the entire database, real-time comes back to us with a kind of a heat map which says which are the areas which are highly contested, which are the white spaces one can operate in. And if someone from my design team who has got no background in legal or patent research uses the system, throws in the idea, the system can bounce back with alternate ideas where the designer or the engineer can say, yes, more like this, less like this, and then instead shows what exists on the patent database as a very visual language. So somebody not conversant with technical details is able to work on this system with speed. And the entire knowledge that is encased in public domain, whether it's patents or other research topics, they form the backbone of this system. So this is fast. It is so good that while we were discussing this and showcasing it with one of the companies in Australia which does study genomics for cancer research, they said that it would be brilliant if we could do something like this. So we offered our agent to them to sit on their proprietary database. It worked fantastically. It helped cancer research move forward with as much speed as we were working with developing new innovation in packaging. We co-authored a paper with them which was presented in Chicago 2 weeks ago with the AACR, which is the American Association of Cancer Research. Huge interest from academia. So what, as a means of giving back to society and humanity, we did not commercialize it. We released our AI model to them for free to use. Anybody working in cancer research has access to our agent and they can use their own database to kind of operate. Right? So this is to show that innovation does not have to be restricted to what we are interacting with our daily life. We can cross-pollinate. What I explained to you on genomics, underlying ability to innovate and conceptualize remains the same with packaging. Suppose if you're developing an applicator or a writing system, you throw in that idea, it trolls through everything that's been done in the world over the last 50 years, comes back to you. You as a designer, as an inventor, throw back ideas into it. It processes that. Sometimes they say that the AI hallucinates, and that's why industries like financial advice systems would not rely on it because we don't want the money to be invested because it hallucinates. But in design, we let it work to our advantage. So when the system hallucinates, it throws up area which could be completely out of whack. So the person working on the system would say less like this. And when it hallucinates again and throws up another strange idea where we feel that it could have potential, we say more like this. And slowly we interact with the AI system as a co-inventor, as a brainstorm ability, whether it's in terms of just plain ideas or doing freedom to operate checks, claim analysis, anything that exists in the public domain which refers to the area that we are studying. Right? So all of this combined together adds speed, accuracy, more creativity, which help us produce these packs. Some of these packs you would be aware of, and I'll show them as ideas of how the systems help us invent and innovate on them. This is an applicator, which is a large size applicator, which should be not capable of coming out through the wiper because it's so large. What happens, this large size applicator goes in through the wiper, folds over itself, creates a zone where there is an area for very high loading of product. The other side gets completely white and is available for blending and for definition. So this is a single part applicator, but at the same time, due to the geometry, it has the ability to dynamically change itself when exiting the bottle or going back inside. Initially, we designed it as a lip applicator. Later, the same applicator moves across different brands, addressing different needs, whether it's concealer, lip tint, cheek gel, and so on. Borrowing technology from shoes, where the footwear flexes at certain zones which are required, we found that very soft applicator does not help the user with precise control. It feels very well, but the lines are not rigid or clean enough for that. The applicator needed to flex from the base and not from the tip. So we used a not so rigid elastomer, but we made flexible zones at the base, which helps it flex right at the point, gives it enough feedback to apply the product without losing control, feels luxurious. We also created the world's first morphing mascara applicator, which from the twist of the handle goes from a straight brush to a curved brush. Right? So in fact, this was inspired by biomimicry, where where we see the tails of mammals being able to twitch. So there is a particular tendon inside that tail. We mimic that with using a nylon wire inside the applicator, which when turned, twists the brush and puts it back again. So these are the areas where learnings from both nature and science come together. Another example of biomimicry, you would have seen the plants, carnivorous, insectivorous plants, where when the insect sits on it, it curls and closes and traps the insect, also known as Venus flytrap. So understanding how this plant with no brains is able to understand the presence of the insect, react to it, and do what it's supposed to do with zero brain, right? It's all mechanical in some sense and chemical. Here we designed a wiper which has got tines on the outside. So one of the problem areas we saw is when we use a mascara, when we put in the applicator back into the wiper wipes the bulb into the cap, which over a period of time dries up, does not close the cap well, and creates a mess. So we would need it recognizes that now the applicator is coming up, I'm supposed to wipe. This requires brain, but the Venus flytrap has no brain. Borrowing understanding from geometry, we created this wiper with tines on the outside, which engages with the applicator when it is coming out. The tines fold inside, wipe the applicator, and when you are reinserting the applicator back into the wire, it opens up to a larger ID, providing no back wipe. Right? So it's intelligent geometric design which helps it work like a component, which looks like it has sensors, but it has just tactile feel that helps it self-engage. Also wipers which are made soft, unanchor themselves from the lip of the wire quite easy, unless it's a bi-injected wiper with a rigid top. Here, if it's a complete soft wiper, we've designed fins into it with collapse when it goes inside the wire. Once it's inside the wires, the propeller-like fins unfurl and lock themselves. And even though being a single part soft wiper, it won't come out when the applicator touches it, so it maintains the required pull force. Packages which are gypsy friendly, on the go, nice, low profile. Here in this case, we designed a compact. One of the areas again that we saw that when someone suffers from acne, we apply the makeup. The bacteria from our face goes onto the applicator, stays there, and in the evening, when I'm doing my skincare, I apply anti-acne. Great, but next morning when I apply the applicator back onto my face, I'm transferring the same bacteria from the applicator back into my face. Right? Even though I have given treatment to my skin, I haven't treated the applicator. Either every day I keep throwing the applicator, I'm spending on a new one, or we design this pack which automatically sanitizes the applicator when it goes inside the compact. So I'm going to go back to the slide if I can. Yeah. Okay. So here you would see once you open the pack, you remove the applicator, you apply the product onto the face. After applying, you put it back, shut it. When you shut it, the site engages. This shows how the pan is refillable, so the device stays with you. And when you shut it, the UVC activates, which exposes the applicator to the UVC light, which reduces colony count, which we verified through clinical trials. The colony count decreases under 10%, so the bacteria does not reproduce any further, so that gets rid of the acne faster than the more traditional techniques. The ability to understand how old gestures from ancient techniques merge with new science, new gestures. Here, this is a scalp care treatment where one of the properties of bronze is used in Ayurveda for scalp treatment. So this is a mix of traditional techniques of teakwood merged with high performance elastomer and bronze together, bringing in a beauty tool that activates the scalp. Like I said, in addition to skincare and beauty, we also have exposure into spirits where we identify what the sense of luxury entails, how these gestures could be transformed from one place to another with ease, understanding how brands work with new packaging, new story, new gestures. All of this enabled through the AI system that we use, and our sourcing partner Cloud Beauty enables us to dream of these concepts and bring them into execution. Feel free to reach out to us. Again, we are at A31. You can come experience the materials I just showed you, take you through new innovations that we're working on, and thank you for your time.